Well, let me start with where I was born. Any of you might be from West Virginia. You know we lived up in hollows that they hewed out in the mountains so the coal miners could have their houses and everything and work in the coal mines. So my mother and father lived there. We had 5 boys, 4 girls. Um, 9 of us in what we would call at that time shotgun houses. You could go straight through, you could see straight through them, but we did really well. All of us went to elementary school. That's one of my fondest memories of my teacher, Miss Virginia Thompson. She taught us really, really well to learn to read, write, and do arithmetic. So our basics were intact when you left Jean Street Elementary School. Went from Jean Street to over to Excelsior High School, which was an all-black high school at the time. I think we had 4 in the county. And I went there until the 10th grade. Guess what happened next year? We integrated.
Do you think it's wrong for integration to take place here in West Virginia?
Well, according to what the Scripture and God said about it, I think it's wrong. Well, last year when it started out, I just about as soon have taken him to the cemetery as to send him to school with the colored.
Will he go back to classes tomorrow?
I expect to send him back.
What do you think should be done about the integration problem here in West Virginia?
Well, I think it should have been put to a vote and let each state taken care of it by a popular vote.
I understand that a few of the colored boys were hurt by rocks and things thrown at them this morning. Do you agree, and how do you feel about them having to be punished, having to be hurt?
Well, I don't believe in violence at all. I think that it ought to be handled without violence.
Do you think that there'll be more violence?
Well, I think there will be if it continues like it is.
Do you think the state police will be able to control it?
Well, as long as the school kids is all that's involved, they'll be able to control it.
Do you think that there'll be peaceful integration tomorrow?
No, there'll never be peaceful integration, no more.
So next year we went to Big Creek High School, finished up there, and then I went to Bluefield State and got my BS degree in secondary education, teaching social studies, taught school 1 year, went to Western Illinois University after that, got my master's degree, came back and worked in the Virginia Community College system for about 12 to 14, 12, I think it was 12 years. Went back to school to get my doctorate at Virginia Tech, and I had my doctorate completed at 30 years old. So I had a lot of education, but not a whole lot of experience in running things. And I sometimes believe that that's why the reason why I had so much success in my later life is because God said you had to have experience and know what you're doing and not get somewhere real quick and then don't be able to stay there. And I believe that's one of the reasons. From my doctorate there, I went to work at Southwest. I worked at Patrick Henry Community College in Martinsville for a while. Then in '89, I went to West Virginia State College, it's West Virginia State University, as the vice president for student affairs. Was pretty successful there. I led a group of people in developing a plan for community colleges because they were separating the community colleges in West Virginia. And the long and short of it was I had to develop a community college separate from the university, and I did that from 2000 to 2006, and we got accreditation and things like that. In 2005, I received a letter, actually it was an email, asking me to apply for a position in a place called Weldon, North Carolina. And it was Halifax Community College. And so, of course, I went on the internet and I looked at a number of things that were going on. There was quite a bit of things going on here, believe it or not. And I said, well, I looked at it and I talked to the consultant once or twice, and he sent some emails back that there was some rumors going around that they thought there should be a certain type of president and blah, 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 and all of that, and we talked. So I sent it in and went through the interviews here, and in December 1st, 2006, I became president. This was my second presidency of Halifax Community College. Well, I want to tell you that one of the things that I missed, my uncle Buddy was one of the, I think, guiding lights in my, who got me interested in education, because he was an educator at Excelsior High School. And I'll give you this one thing. I remember going to a homecoming at Bluefield State, and maybe I was in the 6th or 7th grade with them. It was just such an eye-opening experience to see Bluefield State and how big all this was and all these people. And I guess I thought it was going to be like that every day. But as you know, it's not every day. But he was really one of the guiding lights with that. And my mother and father always made sure that every one of us, I think all 9 of us, finished high school. And even though my mother was a high school graduate, I think my daddy went to the 3rd or 4th grade, he made sure he didn't know algebra, but we were going to know it. And he wasn't going to write all those papers, but he made sure that we were going to do it if we were going to stay in his house. And so I really respect them for that. And another thing that I really learned early on in that point that has affected me till this day, I used to watch, we used to have to walk to our bus stop. It was about a half mile or so. Kids don't have to do that now. But I noticed all the men in our community worked. Not some. Everybody worked. So we learned very early in life that men are supposed to work and take care of their families at that point. And that has always stuck with me, that we are workers, and that's what our role is, to work and provide. And I think that's probably one of the things that even now I have to kind of calm myself down, because I believe I'm a little bit of a workaholic, and everybody is not like that and everything. But once I got to Halifax, the interview was interesting because I'd read up on all of the wonderful things that were going on, and then what do they call it? The news was here every board meeting, and we had what do they call it? WRAL, the TV stations was here, and I said, Lord have mercy, we can't have that. We need to get back to business of educating our students and working with our business and industry. So that was my overall goal there. Dr. Edwards also mentioned the last question in our interview, what are you going to do to challenge our young men, and what types of programs would we have? And that's why we have our, I guess, nationally known Pride program that we have developed here at Halifax Community College that helps so many of our young men in the Halifax and Northampton area. Well, you know, one of the funniest things about that, my 2nd or 3rd day on the job, I got a visit from Congressman G.K. Butterfield and Dr. Congressman Butterfield, and we talked, and we knew somebody at OIC that was in Charleston, West Virginia, that we both knew. And my second question to him was, how can I get some earmarks to do some things that we, and he said, bless his heart, he said, well, we can't do it this year, but if next year, if it's open up, I'll let you know and have it ready. And we got $190,000 to start with our sim lab that we did for our nursing, and we put that with that grant. And the next year he gave us, we got $148,000, and we worked with our dental lab to get a new thing to take pictures and everything, and of your, with our dental lab, and we also, if you've been to the center, you will see these big screens all over. He helped us with that. We also we didn't have a wireless system for our college when I first got here, and we used some of that funding to help set up a wireless system, so when you come on campus you can go on our wireless network and use all your devices and everything. That was it's small, but it's a big thing when you don't have it here. Yeah, we have grown some. We have had as many as 1,700 students. We've had some of the highest enrollments. I think we were ranked number 13 in the country by the Washington Monthly magazine in 2013. We have, I would say, we have over $15 million in grants during my tenure here on the state, local, and national level. In the last year alone, we had $7.3 million in different grants. Not only have we made progress internally and with our community, we have been recognized externally for some of the things, and all of it is focusing on how we can help our students to be successful. And I think that's the only reason that we are here at this community college, is to help our students to be successful.